Are you an Era 60 player, but still struggling with the combat in Genshin? Or are you a newer player, yet to learn the more advanced mechanics in the game? While Genshin Impact is definitely easy to pick up, I mean, there are literally only a few controls for your character. You can use the left mouse to auto attack, E for your elemental skill, and press Q when your elemental burst is up. Simple enough. However, the skill ceiling for Genshin is rather high. There are many advanced mechanics, like how to dodge properly, which are often not mentioned or taught. That is why, let's cover today 5 advanced tips that pro players use so that you too can become a pro player yourself and get the 36 stars for your Abyss, or just have an easier time with the game. Firstly, let's cover the dodging mechanics. A common misconception about dodging is that you literally have to get out of range of the enemy's attack in order not to receive damage. That is in fact not true. There are 2 main ways to dodge enemy attacks. 1. You just have to press the dash function just before the enemy's attack hit. Dashing gives you a few seconds of immunity, which means that even though the enemy's attacks would appear to have hit you, you in fact would not receive damage. The easiest character to practice and observe this with is with Hu Tao. Hu Tao when dashing will literally go invisible for a few seconds. That is basically the immunity window that the characters have. Learn the enemy's attack patterns, press dash at the right timing, and you have successfully dodged an attack. The second way to dodge is through what we call an iframe or invulnerability frame. When you use a character's burst, you'll be invulnerable to the enemy's attack when the burst animation is playing. As such, a good way to dodge potentially fatal attacks is to time your burst and use it just before you get hit by the enemy's attack. Of course, all of these take time to master. But if you find it really very difficult, you can always opt to use a shielder instead to provide the invulnerability and resistance to interruption to make your gameplay a lot smoother. Second, let's cover what we call animation cancelling. Apart from during a character's burst animation, your character can receive damage even when performing other animations. What's more, some characters have longer animations, be it for their normal attacks or elemental skills. If you let these animations play out, you're literally a sitting duck to get damaged by the enemy, or deal far less damage as it takes time for the full animation to be completed. As such, it is important to understand and learn how to do animation cancelling. Animation cancelling refers to not letting the entire character's animation play out. Once the character has dealt their damage, you need to stop their animation. This animation can be cancelled through 2 ways, through either jumping or dashing. Each of these have their own pros and cons. Jumping to cancel the animation is kinda awkward, but you do not consume any stamina. Dashing is more fluid and can even help you to dodge certain attacks, but it consumes stamina. So, if you dash at the wrong time, you may be left vulnerable without stamina where you need to actually dodge. As such, it is important to use a combination of both jumping and dashing to ensure that you can deal the most damage possible while also conserving your stamina. So, jump when you are sure the enemy won't hit you to unleash more attacks, and dash to dodge when you know enemies are about to hit you. Before I continue, if you enjoyed today's video, do consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't to help us to get to our next goal of 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much! Third, let's talk about how to traverse the map faster. This is especially useful in the Abyss, as enemies might spawn a distance away from you, which means that you will need to go to them to deal damage. Reaching them slowly means that you have less time to deal damage, which could affect the stars that you get in the Abyss. First and foremost, the most basic is to tap dash instead of just holding the run button. Tap dash consumes way less stamina and allows you to get to where you want to a lot faster. Just look at this quick comparison. Second, you might want to get these following characters for either quicker traversal in the overworld or in the Abyss. For lateral traversal, you can use characters like Yelan, Wanderer, or Sayu to get from point A to point B a lot faster with their elemental skill. For vertical traversal, you can use characters such as Kazuha to gain height quickly and reach the heights that you want to a lot quicker. Finally, for traversal across water, we all know that swimming is very slow, so you can always use Ayaka and Mona with their special running animations to traverse the water a lot quicker. But of course, the best character for this is of course Furina, who can literally walk, or in this case, run across water when the salon members are present. Water traversal has never been faster. Fourth, let's discuss about quicker burst usage. Especially when you're playing in the Spiral Abyss, swapping to a character and then using your burst takes time and can determine whether you get 3 stars or not. What's more, the delay between swapping your character and then using your burst could cause your character to become interrupted. As such, it is advisable to take advantage of the keyboard shortcuts as they allow you to swap immediately and use your character's burst. On PC, the shortcut is to press Alt followed by your character's number. On mobile, you can simply tap the character's burst icon to use their burst immediately. Finally, let's talk about team building. While I have already gone in depth about this multiple times in my various videos, let me summarize and reiterate it again here. A good Genshin team is all about the balance. It is important to have a mix of a main DPS, sub DPS, and a support. A main DPS, or driver, is in charge of being the face of the team, taking the field the majority of the time to deal damage to the enemy. These include characters such as Hu Tao, Yoimiya, Neuvillette, and so on. They are the team's main source of damage, but only when they are on the field. Their kit will usually have 0 usage when they are not on the field. A sub DPS is in charge of providing off-field damage support or elemental application for the team's main DPS to deal damage. Usually, these characters will use their elemental skill or burst, then swap out. Characters include Albedo, who leaves his elemental skill behind to continuously deal geo damage, and Yelan and Xingqiu, who will use the elemental burst and swap out for characters such as Hu Tao to activate and apply Hydro when she uses her normal attacks. Finally, a support character can be a damage buffer, healer, or shielder. These characters tend to improve the team's survivability and or damage so that overall, the team can either last long enough to defeat the enemy or to do it quickly before the enemy can even deal damage to them. Characters include damage buffers such as Shenhe, Bennett and Kazuha, shielders like Layla and Zhongli, and healers such as Jin. It is very important to have a balance of these characters so that you will be able to deal the most damage possible. You wouldn't really want a team consisting of only main DPSs, as you would only get 25% of the team dealing damage at any given time. A team full of sub DPSs might work, but if you do not have a driver or main DPS, you might be losing out on some reaction damage, considering these characters usually do not deal as much damage on field compared to if they were supporting a main DPS or driver. Finally, a team full of supports is also tough as well. You may be able to live long enough, but can the enemy truly be defeated in time? As such, having that balance, usually a team consisting of 1 main DPS, 2 sub DPSs, and 1 support will be optimal for you to deal the most damage possible while having the much needed sustainability. With that, we've come to the end of today's video. What do you think? Will you be using the tips that I've shared today? Or are you a pro player yourself and have other tips to share with everyone? Do let me know down in the comments below. If you'd like to see which standard banner character is the most worth to build, please click the video on the right. If you would like to see my other Genshin Impact videos, please click the playlist on the left. Once again, thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!